Reading and responding, developing your ability to read critically and write about what you read. In this video, you will get an idea of the way we and other college professors expect you to approach reading the materials for our course. We call it critical reading, and this video will provide you with some strategies for critical reading. We will also show you some examples of critical reading and responding to both course readings and to the writing of your peers. First, we should take a moment to go over what critical reading is not. When professors talk about critical reading, they're not using the word critical the way you might use it in other arenas in your life. Many students associate critical with criticism or judging a work. Though critical reading does involve assessing the strengths and weaknesses of an argument, for our purposes, we are not asking you to grade or rate the performance of a piece. More often, we are asking you to carefully read a piece of writing with attention not only to what the author is saying, but how she puts together her argument. We want you to pay attention to things like how an author organizes a piece of writing, what kinds of evidence they use to support their argument, the tone an author's writing sets, and how an author attempts to reach their target audience. Critical reading involves reading a piece of writing several times and making sure to take notes as you write. We recommend the following steps. Before you start reading, consider who the author of the reading is and what their purpose in writing the piece is. Understanding the author's purpose will help you figure out why the author might make some of the choices they make. Split the reading into manageable chunks. If you are trying to read after work, when you are tired, or late at night, it's especially important to manage your reading so that you are doing focused work. Chunking your reading can help you figure out what to do and when to take breaks. Read each chunk for overall meaning. Make sure you understand the vocabulary and basic ideas the author is trying to convey. Go back and make sure you understand how the author organized their piece. Locate a thesis statement, a sentence or two usually located in the beginning of the piece that tells what the whole essay is about. Locate topic sentences in the body paragraphs, a sentence that tells what the paragraph is about and how the idea connects to the essay's thesis. Sometimes, especially with difficult reading, it is helpful to make a reverse outline, creating an outline of a work that is already written. Look back at the evidence used to support the author's argument. Do they support their argument with personal experience, facts, statistics, quotations, or other means? Evaluate the quality of the support used. Is it compelling to you? Finally, what can you take away from the way this piece is written? How can it inform your own writing, and how does it fit with or deviate from what you are being asked to write? When you respond to a piece of writing, it is important to consider what your professor is asking you to think about or understand about the piece. Use any prompts or questions you've been given as a starting point for creating your response. Provide as many persuasive examples from the piece as you can, including quotations of the author's specific words. Each time you provide a quote, be sure to explain how that quote supports your analysis. We're going to show you an example of how to apply these steps to a course reading. Before you start, pause this video and read this short piece. Applying the steps. This is an article that comes from Slate magazine. The author here is informative, but also has a little bit of a sarcastic tone. I can see this in the way they use the word jock in the title of their article, indicating that they're not entirely serious. This is a short article, so I will not chunk it. But if I were to chunk this article, I would draw lines in the places where I wanted to stop and take a break. This article is pretty easy to understand, so I will just summarize it quickly. It reports on UNC, a well-known college, giving an athlete a passing grade for a paragraph-long essay. This article is organized with a thesis statement as the first paragraph, an explanation of the details of the incident, a copy of the text of the essay, and then speculation that the problem was widespread. The evidence here is compelling. The author quotes a longtime tutor on the problem and also provides a copy of the essay for the reader, and it is pretty bad. The piece is written in a more journalistic style with short paragraphs rather than long academic paragraphs, but it is still well organized. I could definitely strive to use quotes as successfully in my own work. Next, we're going to show an example of how to apply these steps to a peer's work. Pause the video and read this short paragraph from a student's work. Applying the steps to a student's work. This is an introductory paragraph from another student's academic essay. The student was responding to a prompt that required her to compare her education to the kind of education described in Jean Annion's essay. This is just a paragraph, so I will not chunk it, but if I were to chunk in a complete essay, I would draw lines in the places where I wanted to stop and take a break. I will summarize the paragraph quickly. The author is going to discuss how her education was like the working class education described in Jean Annion's essay. This article is organized with an introduction to the essay and a thesis statement at the end of the first paragraph. The author has not gotten to the evidence yet, but it sounds like she will use her experience and quotes from Annion's essay to make her argument. This paragraph makes the author sound well organized. I could definitely strive to be as clear in my own thesis statement. If I were to write a response to this paragraph, I would tell the author that their thesis statement is clear to me and tells me that she is going to discuss her experience in the Annion essay. I'm looking forward to reading more.